Welcome to Dynamite Delight. Okay, guys, before I get started, I know no one's going to say it, but I'm sure you noticed there was no Raw and there was no NXT review. I'm not going to lie. I just didn't want to look at Raw. Not because it was bad, it was just, as I've been telling you lately, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the back and behind the scenes. So I've not been myself. And NXT, I did see it. I started writing my notes for most of the show, and I'm going like, what the fuck am I looking at? 3 matches that was trash. And on and off, questionable things that was going on that I was going like, look, I've not been in a good mood as it is. I have insomnia. I have not been sleeping very well because of frustration. I mean, I got insomnia no matter what. But then I'm getting frustrated, and I finally got somewhere with my animation, my anime show. I mean, I managed to produce almost another episode, and I've learned when you're tired, having not much sleep, you're frustrated, and then you watch a show on top of that, and you want to rant, it messes with creativity. So if I want to finish the video I'm working on, which has been over a month, and it usually doesn't take me that long, no. So I said to myself last night, stop, throw away your notes, go to bed. And that's what I did. Because even though NXT was so-so, I wasn't in the mood to rant. So that's why I didn't do it. So I am sorry. But what did we get in this show? We got a good amount of content. That is a question. Not a rant question, but a question. Will they make something out of it? Or better yet, why not? I'll get to it. Don't botch. I'm telling myself, don't botch. Let's get through the show. First, what did we get here? The Party of the Jericho Appreciation Society showing the 8th reign of a Chris Jericho. I'm not going to say Spanish in 8 because I mispronounce it very badly. Being half Spanish does not mean you speak it. I want to tell this to anyone who thinks, dude, what is wrong with you? You're Spanish. No, I'm half Spanish. And I grew up in a black family that didn't speak Spanish. So for me, I may have heard the words. I may be able to reproduce the words. But I botched the words. And they don't really have a lot of meaning for me. Doesn't mean I hate Spanish. It's just it's not there for me. So, there you go. This was about trying to put over Ring of Honor, which does not freaking exist. Don't exist anymore. It's a joke. I'm saying it again. It doesn't mean I hate Ring of Honor when it was real and when it was a real promotion. It's a joke now because we don't do shows on the YouTube channel. We don't have a TV deal. We don't have anything but maybe once in a while a pay-per-view in the name of Ring of Honor. So as far as I see, these are titles that mean absolutely nothing. Nothing. And Chris is trying to make it mean something when there is no show, no commentators, unless it's a Ring of Honor match. No, I mean, they're selling the merch of Ring of Honor when they want to. In other words, they are. Anything that was on the Ring of Honor store, probably still up, and they're probably still selling merch from it. But it means nothing. So Chris is trying his best to sell this, and then the story of him and Garcia being now the Ring of Honor champion, the pure champion, is being on display. And Garcia is basically being told, you mean everything as a sports entertainer. And he's going like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want this. And while he's about to tell Chris, which Chris told him, do not make the wrong choice here. You either can become the biggest you could ever be, or I'm going to put you down. And at that moment, Bryan Danielson comes out and he says, look, he says to the both, Daniel, you can be whatever you want. You want to be with them, be with them. You want to be with us, be with us. You know what would have been better? Not saying that they need to go there, but he could have said, Daniel, I respect you. You can be whatever you want. You can go with the JAS, you can go with the Blackpool Combat Club, or go off on your own, which I kind of wish he said that. Because if he's truly a mentor, he will make it very clear, yes, pretty much Daniel Garcia needs more time to develop. But if he said that, it would have shown that as a real mentor, he says, whatever you choose, I will back you. You want to go off on your own, I could still train you. But you don't have to be with my club. You don't have to be with them. You can be your own man. That's what I was hoping for, but no, they wanted to make it about the Jericho Appreciation Society or the Blackpool Combat Club. That's had to be. So what did we get? We got the sports entertainer, basically, and Daniel Garcia before Bryan Danielson comes out. Dex, one of the most important people in Philly, the one who loves to make the pizzas there, supposedly. And now we get a match between Bryan Danielson and the Daddy Magic. Now, if I remember correctly, Daddy Magic, did Daddy Magic bleed? I don't remember. I don't think he did. No. But there was a lot of blood during the show. I know there was one in Juice Robinson's match, and I know there was one with Bandito where they were bleeding, and I believe there might have been another. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look at my notes. I'll be looking here. But there was blood in this show. I don't think it was intentional either. Just people started bleeding due to the fact they were being a lot more rougher than they normally would. But I think, I could be wrong, they just like showing blood because Triple H said, you know what, we don't need blood, we've evolved. So what is AEW done? We're going to throw more blood at you and not make it mean something when it is blood. But Bryan Danielson won his match. So there's no problem with that. Now the next match will be Juice Robinson versus Moxley for a shot at the AEW Championship next week or the week after. I can't remember. In October, I believe. But the point is, no build. And you hear Juice Robinson's promo, which was good. I didn't have a problem with it. But they're letting him have this shot so he can gain his shot. Is Vince there? Is Vince on AEW's roster now? What the fuck was that? What? Look, I know they've done that a couple of times in the last 3 years. Yes, it's happened. The Bucks did that when it came to Top Flight. I believe they had that shot with Top Flight where they gave them that option. But here, with the main title, where there's been a controversy with Punk, the Bucks, as well as Kenny, you're actually giving Juice Robinson, instead of giving a booking for him, since he's a free agent, build up into a match. Give a reason for him to go up against Moxley. No, he goes up against Juice. If Juice wins, he gets a shot. What happened to the rating system? What happened to the wins and losses? I guess we went away from that right now because I've barely seen it. They don't even mention it much anymore. So, it's like Vince. And I'm not saying that AEW's gone off the rails to the point where you don't want to watch it. But this is what you get. You know what it reminds me of? Impact Wrestling. Or MLW. Isn't AEW supposed to be better than MLW and Impact Wrestling? And they're acting just like Impact Wrestling and MLW. Because I know MLW, even though I haven't watched it in quite a while, does the same thing. They don't use a rating system every single time. They use a lot of this type of booking. And pretty much, the attack in the very beginning was fine, but it was very paint by the numbers. Because I didn't expect Juice Robinson to actually get a shot at the title. I didn't expect him to do it. And look what happened. He taps out. Done. That happened a couple of times. I think it happened 3 times we got a tap out. But this is what we got. I'm just... Why? Why is this booking going on? Obviously, because Tony is still booking it, and he's trying to book it like WWE or Impact Wrestling or MLW, where it should still be the old AEW most of the time. And I want to make this clear before I move on to the next match between Deep and Storm and what happened with Saraya. But the way they had it before, which was a good balance, the majority of the time they did the rating system, and only once in a while they would do it like this. Here, this is what they've been doing most of the time. So they went away from that, which I think is not making the hardcore crowd happy. That's just me. Saraya comes out looking lovely. She makes it very clear that she wants to change the division. She calls out the division, which she didn't. No, she didn't. She got the faces to come out. She got some of the heels to come out. Some because Jade Cargill and the baddies were not there. Where were the baddies? Wouldn't it have been good to see the baddies come out? Wouldn't it have been good to see Jade Cargill come out? I know someone's going to say, well, she's on Rampage. Please. Please. If Saraya is saying she's about to change the women's division, you got two tiers of the women's division. You got the low tier in the TBS title, and you got the top tier in the AEW title. Where was Jade Cargill? Where was Gray? Where was Hogan? Where were they? They should be there. And why didn't they bring out a couple of more women that's supposed to be still questionable that are possibly going to be shown on TV from... calm down. This is why I'm still seeing the same freaking booking. When they could have called up some of the women from Dark and Elevation as well. They could have pulled them all out for that lumberjack match. Instead of just being maybe 9 women, they could have 15 women there. More women, please. Show me more women. Show me the shoujo women. Show me the European women. Whatever's on Elevation and Dark too. If you got so many women on the damn roster and the potential to go on the roster, show it in this damn lumberjack match. Not lumberjill. At least I will say with Saraya. She's saying, no. We're inclusive. We don't care. She made it very clear. Who gives a fuck about saying it's a woman's thing? It is just what has already been established. Just say it's a lumberjack match. Fuck it. Doesn't mean that means anything, but you know what I mean. We get the match between Selena Deeps going after the interim title against Toni Storm. Was it a good match? Yes. Saraya did go on commentary. I was not bothered by it. She's always been a decent talker. The question's going to be, when is she getting in the ring, though? And how things were going was not too bad. You got pretty much Nightingale running off a Jamie Hayter because of how the interaction in the ring was going. Was this a effective match and segment? Because that's what this comes down to. It's not about how good the match was. And it was not a bad match between Deep as well as for Tony. It was not a bad match. It wasn't. But what does this lead us to? This is the first time we see Saraya on TV other than her promo in the very beginning. Well, not promo in the very beginning, but pretty much her first appearance. I don't know. Yes, it's the first lumberjack match. But here's the question. How are they going to book the women going forward? I don't buy Tony booking the women unless he's got a team to book the women other than himself. So the question's going to be, are they going to expand on this? Are they going to give the women something more? When is Saraya going to get in the ring and actually wrestle? If she can wrestle, which I do believe she can. When? How many weeks or how many months it's going to take? Because they need to start changing how they treat the women now. And it would have been better if Jade Cargill had been there as well. We needed Jade there. Yes, she's on Rampage. But under the situation, if Saraya is coming out here to explain herself, we needed the World Champion. We needed the TBS Champion. We needed all the women there so we can really make it feel like something. And we didn't get it. This is what we got. Let's move on. Now, we got our MJF segment with a Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler tried his best in his hometown in Philly to make himself look big. Now, let's be honest. Here's Wheeler when he first started. When he first started with his character and his mic skills. This is him here. This is MJF when he first started. He's well outside the frame because that is how great he's become. I'm not against Wheeler. Wheeler's become much better in the ring. He's become more competent on the mic. He's become more confident on the mic. That's one thing many people don't remember. You have to have confidence when you do your mic skills. Not just sounding good. You got to believe in what you're saying. You got to be able to say what you mean and make it feel like something. So having a great amount of talking ability is good, but you gotta believe in it. You gotta have confidence in what you're saying, not just say it. So he has improved, but he can't survive MJF. MJF buried his ass, and he brought out the guns to finish his damn catchphrase. Honestly, the question is, when is he gonna cash in that chip? And him teasing it, it's not even necessary. Even though it is necessary. For me, it's not. I know he's not going to cash it in now. The others, yes. But I know he's not going to cash it in anytime soon until maybe the next pay-per-view, if he even needs to. I'm just saying. Next match. Squash match. A squash match. Ricky Starks. What the fuck was that? Guys. The guy he went up against is a former Ring of Honor wrestler. Isom. I think I've seen him once or twice. Other than Ring of Honor, I think. What the fuck did Ricky just do? He gave him the Rochambeau to win the match. But then he jumps on him like a little kid jumping on his dad's lap. And he doesn't just jump on his stomach and his chest. He jumps on his damn dick. What the fuck is going on? I'm not saying he's trying to let him feel his dick. No, you don't. But what am I saying? Oh my! What was that? Him jumping on his nether region. If he jumped on his stomach, most of it, some of it, yes, but he slid down to where his dick was, and I'm going, what the fuck was that? He didn't need to do the Rochambeau and then jump on his chest, which was his stomach, there's damn dick. I don't know what the hell was that. It was so extra. It wasn't necessary. What the fuck? That's just going to make him look bad. Not saying that Ricky is gay. If he is, more power to him. I don't care. If he's not gay, more power to him. I don't care. But come on. What the fuck was that? That is like, what? I'm just saying, that's just me. I don't think I got the shot. I don't even know if I'm putting images in this mofo. I don't know. I just know if I do have a shot, maybe I'll stick it in my face. I don't know. Then we get the final match of the night. I know I can talk, and I want to make this clear. I know I'm skipping things, just like when it comes to what happened to Matt Hardy in Private Party. I'm not going there. I'm leaving it. When it comes to Jungle Boy, I'm leaving it because it counts on how they're going to book Luchasaurus. So I'm leaving it. This is not about how well he talked. This is about how Luchasaurus is going to be booked. That's the question, and I'm leaving it. We get the Ring of Honor title. Chris Jericho, number 8 champ, versus a Bandito, who busted open later in the match. I don't know if it was his mouth. I don't know if it was nose. Somewhere in the match during the commercial break, and you see it picture in picture, he gets busted freaking open, and he's bleeding through the mouth. I don't know if he sliced himself on purpose. I don't know if Chris might have busted his mouth open. It don't matter. You get blood. Next to Moxley bleeding, you get this. And I'm going like, really? What are we getting here? Are we getting blood on purpose? Or is this because the wrestlers are trying so hard to really make this mean something? They are hurting themselves legitimately. I do believe it's a little combination of both, because I don't think Moxley sliced himself on purpose when he was with Juice, but it could have happened. But here, if he sliced himself, that's a little too much. Okay? I'm not against blood. Blood does help a match if it means something, like I said during this review. But if there's so much blood almost every week, look, last week Britt Baker bust her nose. And they had that long segment before the match between Storm and Deep. I'm not even going there with that long segment. But you get my point. Was it necessary to do blood if they're doing it? If it's important, yes. But if they're blading all the time now, it's dumb. It should be only when it's important. And in this situation, if Mox didn't blade himself, he hurt himself legitimately. Seeing blood here, if it wasn't accidental, was dumb. It's not necessary. Just because Triple H had said that the WWE doesn't need blood because we evolved, doesn't mean you got to do it yourself all the time. Now, was this a bad match? No. Not one bit. I didn't hate the match. In fact, at one point, seeing Bendito hold up Chris, and he's struggling like this. I don't know, maybe I'll put it in my face if I am putting images. He is struggling to hold Chris up past a minute. And then he finally gave him the delayed suplex. Finally. Everyone was cheering their asses off. It was fine. The match was fine. I do wish they would stop bringing in the commentator that was from Ring of Honor. Who gives a fuck about him? I don't even remember his name. It's not that he sounds bad. Why you keep bringing him in? I'm going to rant a little bit. As I said earlier, Ring of Honor is nothing. The titles don't mean anything, but they're trying their best to make them mean something. But having the old Ring of Honor commentator commentate for a world title or a television title or a pure title is stupid. Stupid. Stick that mofo on Elevation or Dark to work with either a Paul White or a Mark Henry. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear him do a world title match on Dynamite or Rampage because it's Ring of Honor. I don't hate him, but there is no Ring of Honor. Stop it. He doesn't mean anything. Put him on Elevation, put him on Dark, let him gain credibility for AEW instead of it doing the nostalgia thing of Ring of Honor. It doesn't exist. I don't want to sound like a rotten bastard to anyone who loved Ring of Honor because I didn't watch it. Well, mostly due to the fact I couldn't see it because I had no cable at the time. Literally, guys, understand. When back in the mid-2000s and I had to pay child support and student loans, I had to cut somewhere, so I had to cut cable. The only thing I saw were DVDs. That's it. But you get my point. It's not necessary. So, Chris retains. Yes, he does. And then he says after that match that at this moment, I am going to be the best Ring of Honor champion and I'm going to destroy Ring of Honor from the ground up. I'm going after you first, Bryan Danielson. I'm going after next match I want is with you. I'm going to destroy the legacy of Ring of Honor and rebuild it into the Ring of Jericho. I'm going to destroy every champion and every worker and wrestler and ring announcer. And he basically Wall of Jericho, the freaking ring announcer. Good. Jericho's War. That's what I named this video. Was this wise? Yes. I'm not telling you that you want... How can I say this? I'm not... I know people love Ring of Honor. I know people will die for Ring of Honor, but it doesn't exist anymore. So what are we doing with the content that Tony Khan purchased? Nothing. So what are they going to do? They're going to tear Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is getting torn down. It is going to be reconstructed into an AEW equivalent. I'm not telling you it's right. I'm not telling you it's wrong. But if you are going to do something with the content that you purchased, you see I'm getting angry. because all this time I kept telling people, I kept saying they're not doing anything Ring of Honor, and I heard JD and just Alex say, just be patient, they're going to get things done, and now they're talking like me, saying, what the hell are we doing with Ring of Honor? What the hell are we doing with the titles? Yeah, we're seeing them on TV, but what does that mean? Where are we seeing the talent that could be set up for Ring of Honor? Shouldn't it be a developmental? No, Tony doesn't want to do it. So what are we going to do with it? Nothing. We're just going to show the titles periodically, put the old commentator on there, put the old ring announcer on there, and call it a day. No, it's wrong. It's stupid. It does not help Rampage, and it doesn't help Dynamite. So what Chris is doing right here is tearing down Ring of Honor to make it mean something. So when they do bring it back, and they're going to bring it back with probably somebody who's going to bring back the title and make it mean something, you'll have something. Counting if it doesn't become a developmental, or counting on whenever they get a TV deal, or if it is true from what rumor I heard from one of my subscribers saying simply that there's a very strong possibility that Ring of Honor still has a contract with Infinity. I believe that was the network that they were on, and they can't do anything until that contract is over. They got to wait until that's solved, and then they can try and do something like get another TV deal or throw it on YouTube. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's a possible rumor. I don't know, but this is what I believe, and I hope you enjoyed this Dynamite Delight. Please give me a comment below. Maybe I won't put any images in here. I don't know yet. I just want to upload this and just eat some yogurt and strawberries or something. I'm hungry. I'm a vegetarian. I need sweets. Peace!